Sometimes God has to use these types of moments to grab us gently by the shoulder, to look us lovingly in the eye and say, hey, girl, snap out of it. Snap out of it. I'm calling you to do something that is greater than you. I'm calling you to do something that's going to benefit the generations after you. I'm calling you to build something not just for yourself, but to glorify me and to help edify others, okay? My name is Rose Lorison. I am your personal brand strategist, and I am on a personal mission to help build the woman that is you and build your brand in a way that glorifies God and edifies others, okay? I've been building brands forever now. I've built a couple of brands for myself. I've been building brands for my friends. I've built brands for clients. I mean, branding has been my jam for a long time now, whether I knew it or not. If you know that God has called you to build something within the online space, but you're constantly telling yourself and reminding yourself that you're not good enough, that you don't have enough, that what God has placed in your hands ain't gonna do anything or impact anybody, you're constantly having these self-deprecating thoughts. I have always, felt that. Every time I look to the left or to the right, it seems like everybody else has it figured out except for me. Like everybody seems to be on a roll and Rose don't know what the heck she is doing. So I completely feel you with how you're feeling, girl. The Lord himself has to sometimes put intentional moments like this, right? You hopped onto YouTube and this video popped up on your For You page. And the reason as to why this video popped up on your For You page is because for a while now, God has been telling you that it is time to build the thing. He has put something on your heart and he's told you, girl, it's time to build a thing. But you have been operating in disobedience only because you're afraid. And so this specific video was meant for you. Sometimes God has to use these types of moments to grab us gently by the shoulder, to look us lovingly in the eye and say, hey, girl, snap out of it. Snap out of it. I'm calling you to do something that is greater than you. I'm calling you to do something that's going to benefit the generations after you. I'm calling you to build something not just for yourself, but to glorify me and to help edify others, okay? Whatever it is that God has called you to build, it is not just for you. It is for his glorification and it's for the edification of others, okay? And so today we're going to talk all things about that. You see my phone right here. I'm not trying to ignore you or not look into the lens of the camera, girl. I just need my notes. I just need my notes so that I can make sure that I'm delivering to you what I believe I'm supposed to be delivering to you. And we can just, keep the video chugging right along, okay? Over the next couple of months, I'm actually going to be helping you in building yourself up and building your brand in a way that glorifies God and edifies others. Okay, so cue how to build a brand that glorifies God and edifies others in 100 days. Yes, I said it, 100 days. So you might as well go ahead and mark your calendar because from the moment this video goes up, the countdown is countdowning, okay? So this series, How to Build a Brand That Glorifies God and Edifies Others in 100 Days, is designed to guide you, girl, in a step-by-step process of creating a personal brand that not only reflects your unique identity and even your unique story, but it also honors God and serves your audience very well. I'm going to ensure by the end of this 100 days, girl, you know exactly what you need to do in order to not only make sure that you're honoring God, but build a community around the brand that God is calling you to. Over the next 100 days, you're going to be receiving practical strategies. You're going to be receiving spiritual insights. So be sure to follow me not only here on YouTube, but on Instagram and TikTok, because girl, the short form content is going to be hitting too. And you're going to be getting some actionable steps to help you overcome all the self-doubt that you experience, embrace your God-given potential, and then finally build a brand that stands out in the online world. I don't know about you, but girl, that's all I need right there. I think that's all you need. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that over the next couple of months. So let's talk a little bit about why this series is so important and why it's so timely in this particular season that you're in right now, okay? The reason as to why I'm doing this series is because, like I said from the very beginning, there are so many of us who have experienced or who know we have this call of God upon our lives to do something that is greater than us. However, fear, disbelief, self-doubt a lot of these things cripple us from taking action. And that's why I decided to start this series so that you would be able to be empowered and encouraged to step forward and do the thing that God is calling you to do. This series is so important, especially when you compare it to other series that you might watch on any platform at all. It's so important because of the approach that we take. One of the first things is that we take a faith-based approach, okay? When I say faith-based approach, girl, I ain't talking about Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. We do not move without the direction of God. We don't say anything without the direction of God. We don't do anything, act out on anything without the leading of the Holy Spirit. This series is 100% rooted in faith. We're going to explore how to align your brand with your values, with your purpose, making sure that whatever you build within the online space is actually a true reflection of who God has made you to be. Because I believe in authenticity 100%. I know we hear that word all the time, but when you show up in an authentic way where you're not trying to pretend to be anybody else and you're not trying to put up a front, okay? I have stories on stories on stories of times that I've done this. When you don't try to put up a front, you are less likely to run away from the online space. You're less likely to run away from the call. You're less likely to feel unqualified and disqualified at the thing that God is calling you to do when you show up in the way that He has made you, when you show up authentically. Okay, so we are doing this with a faith-centered approach. Another thing, girl, we are also doing holistic development. And what do I mean by that, okay? Building a brand isn't just about creating a logo or creating a cute website or whatever the case may be. That is not all branding is about, right? It's about personal growth and development, especially when it's faith based. Because at the end of the day, girl, a lot of you are going to be building a brand that is rooted in your own lived experiences, things that God has literally brought you through or is actively bringing you through in order to help other people. Literally. Okay. And so you have to be actively participating in personal development in order for you to effectively be building your personal brand. Like, you cannot just be building a personal brand without actively participating in becoming a better person, right? Because people grow. And so this series will address both the inner work, making sure that you're overcoming fear, building confidence, and finding clarity. And we're talking all things outer work too. So strategic planning, content creation, audience engagement, so on and so forth. Girl, it's going to be so good, so juicy, but it's going to be holistic. So we're going to be touching on every single thing, okay? Not only that, community and support. You're not alone on this journey. I am 100% here with you. And girl, we are going to have a community for you to be a part of as you're going through this particular series. So if you want to join the community, go ahead and head to the description box below and sign up to be a part of the She's Blessed community. It's free, 99. So go ahead and be a part of it as we're moving through how to build a brand that glorifies God and edifies others in 100 days. And together, we're going to be sharing our experiences. We're going to be celebrating successes, and we're going to be doing all of the things. So be sure that you head to the description below for that. But also at the end of this 100 days, girl, you're going to have tangible results. What do I mean by that? You're going to have the exact step-by-step process in how to build a brand in a very strategic way. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about the Lord, but my brain is also very strategic, girl. And we're going to be talking strategy. We're going to be talking tactics. We're going to be talking how to literally build a personal brand from scratch. We're going to literally be diving into it all, which is why I'm so excited. So if this is right up your alley, this is something that you definitely want to be a part of. This is something that is literally you right now. Then you need to make sure that you continue watching this video, because right now I am about to set the foundation for what you can expect over the next 100 days. But really, what I want to set here today is just your expectations. What do you need to start working out right now in order to prepare for the next 100 days, okay? So first things first, in order to build your brand, right, a brand that glorifies God and edifies others, you have to first start with your testimony. And that's not something that most people will tell you. And if you are not a believer, maybe you don't know much what the word testimony is, but it's also kind of like what your story is. It starts with your story, especially when you're building a personal brand. Personal is there for a reason. You have to find some type of connection point between you and your community in order to build a brand that is actually impactful and effective in building other people up. Right? You're not just building another personal brand just for the sake of it. If God has actually called you to do this, there's a reason behind it. And there are certain things that you have gone through within your particular life that God wants to use to bring glory to his name and to help other people, because he's allowed you to experience what you experience in a specific way so that you can deliver it in a specific way that's going to help specific people. You feel what I'm saying? I said specific a lot, but you get what I'm trying to say here. You have to start with your testimony. If you build a brand that is rooted in your testimony, that is how you'll be most aligned and authentic when you show up within the online space. Especially with attracting the right kind of people. People are going to be able to relate with you. They're going to be able to connect with you, and all of these things. The second thing that you need to understand as you are building a brand that glorifies God and edifies others is that you have to surrender yourself to God fully. And when I say surrender yourself, I mean your mind, your will, your emotions. I'm talking about you need to be physically disciplined within yourself. Like, you have to surrender yourself to the Lord completely so that he can do the work in you, so that he can fully lead you to the places that he's trying to get you to go. The thing is that oftentimes we find ourselves trying to, God may give you the vision, whatever the case may be. God gives you a vision. He shows you exactly what he wants you to do. And you just take this vision and you run with it. You don't ask God, hey, God, what is actually the first step that you want me to take here? Right? Some of us actually sleep on it, girl. I am thinking now about the parable of the talents, right? Where there was a master who had a couple of servants who he gave talents to. Some of them, well, two of them multiplied their talents while one of them just simply buried it. And there are a lot of you today who are simply burying the things that God has given to you. You have to surrender it. You might say that you're just surrendering, but that's not what you're doing. You're actually burying your talent. And so if you are on either side of the spectrum, whether you're burying your talent or you're running off without first asking God to direct your steps, we got to come together at the center here and re-surrender everything to God so that he can show us exactly what he would want us to do. But we have to really be willing to do that. Okay. And then also, in order to build a brand that glorifies God and edifies others, girl, you must have a heart of service for other people. And it's not just any other people. I'm specifically speaking to the girls who that God is calling you to serve people who were once where you were, or people who are where you are now. Okay. You have to have a heart of service for these types of people, right? Because like I told you, at the end of the day, you are not just doing this for yourself. None of the things that we ever do in this life is seldom for ourselves. It is always for other people. What is the command? God says that we would love him with all our hearts, minds, and souls, and that we would love others as we love ourselves. And so when you are showing up and doing the thing that God is calling you to do, if God has called you to build a brand, if God has called you to start a business, if God has called you to just show up online and start creating content, whatever that looks like for you, it's not just for you, girl. It's not just for you. You have to have a heart of service and reflect with the Lord and ask God, like, what are the things within me, right, that you actually want me to pull out and bring to the forefront of the online space in order for me to effectively serve these people who are once where I was, or who are currently walking the walk that I'm walking now. Okay. That is super important in order for you to build a brand that glorifies God and edifies others. But finally, girl, last point here. In order for you to build a brand that glorifies God and edifies others, I'm going to need you to have a strategy in place. You're going to have a strategy in place that takes you from just the idea in your head to a brand that presents itself within the online space and actually starts attracting the people that it's meant for. Okay. And that is the whole point of how to build a brand that glorifies God and edifies others in 100 days. The whole goal is to get you from idea in your brain to presented within the online space. And I'm so excited to go into it, dive deep into it. It's going to be such an exciting time. I literally can't wait. Okay. So be sure to check in next week for this next video, the first episode ever of this entire series, so that we can really break it down for real, girl. Also, if you want to be a part of the She's Blessed community, girl, sign up. It's free to join. We're literally going to be talking about all things building the woman, building a brand, in a way that glorifies God and edifies others in that particular community. And I'm so excited for you to be a part of it. Okay, girl. So make sure that you check the description box below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And girl, I will see you next time. Okay. Love you. TTYL. I feel like that was just tangents. Oh, God.